I was still kind of sticking around and listening to the PulseChain community while they were talking about liquidity pools and P copies, and I was barely understanding what CMC was. I was a part of some other large protocols in the past, done really well, made a lot of friends along the way, and then I was in the BSC, so I'm used to this degeneracy that we're seeing on PulseChain at level and on Solana. Like these are the types of communities that I've built around, and we haven't even hit peak hysteria yet. Not just to the market in general, right? Like when the BSC was around those days, you could just throw because of Hart's law. I didn't recognize it then. I knew that BNB controlled the value of an asset, but as far as like liquidity webbing and the overall infrastructure of being able to utilize this, like if people that got into Hex, if they staked certain percentage of it, a lot of like none of them ever thought about going out and providing liquidity with that against maybe a token that they launched for themselves, right? Being able to then take Hex, leverage the Hex pump with your own token, right? Providing liquidity for it, right? Like it was a whole level of education that the Hexicans weren't taught or didn't go out and try to understand, because that they would have had so much value to move around on chain. So it's what Hex and what PulseChain has done. It's, in my opinion, it's all about decentralization and being able to, and what James has shown, it's about reaching out and actually doing some of this groundwork on chain, because we're building this chain from the ground up, right? Like, and we can't do it alone. We have to do it as a unit. We have to be. We're not a bunch of shit coiners. I mean, I used the emoji of a toilet paper roll, right, with the name Load. Like, it's memeable, it's funny, but it's all there's other things that we can utilize and do with that too, right? But being able to then make liquidity pool ties and start bridging. I mean, even he said it himself. James was talking about how you're bridging pdai and the Atropa ecosystem over to Ethereum. Like, I made a Load pdai pair the other day, and just to start some of this movement, right? And the cool thing is like we have a protocol that's sitting on Ethereum that has a nice that we've partnered with, that has a nice thick skull. We'll go into details, but like we have like little home bases of all these of different protocols that we're partnering with and things that we're working with. So whenever people do bridge value cross chain and are utilizing this new account obstruction feature, having a token that has that type of ability, like Zen, right? And Hex is on every chain. Like, a lot of people don't recognize Hex is everywhere, right? It's not no centralized exchange, but it's listed on every other chain. It's it's on Gnosis, it's on Polygon, it's on the main ecosystem chains that people are utilizing, right? I mean, even he foresaw that. We are literally operating on other chains as well, because that is the best way for us to try to get other people into what we're doing. Yes, I've already bridged some of my stuff over to PulseChain, and then we have another partnership announcement that we're going to make as well today. Skull and myself, what we've done is he launched a home base on Ethereum, right? And so he's got around $173,000 in liquidity at like a $370,000 market cap. Because we're providing a lot of liquidity around. So we have around a $6,000 liquidity pool with them on ETH. We have a $10,000 burnt liquidity pool with them on Sol, and around a $4,000 burnt liquidity pool with them on PulseChain. And we've literally created this huge vein of arbitrage at the moment that's going to be occurring. There's other protocols that we're going to be partnering with. There's other chains that we're going to be going across to. But he's working on, if you think of Steam, like it's like going to be a gaming platform for Steam, as well as an OTC platform. And we're working with people that are utilizing this type of technology, from liquid NFTs to IVNs to account abstraction with gasless swaps. But yeah, the OTC platform, I can't think of the names of them all. They're very unique. He's got a great GitHub. I will drop that in the chat as soon as this is, if anyone else can find it and drop it in the nest, that'd be great. If not, we'll keep going. But yeah, just definitely look into Skull. He is down there at the bottom. He was a speaker. Got the little Viking with the ship. Give him a follow, give him a holler. And then and as we're doing this, we're going to be hosting and talking with other people that have other tokens that are doing their thing. So it's just all about growing together and doing our best to continuously showing benevolent behavior, and that PulseChain is just something different. But yeah, for now, I also want to introduce you guys to Punk and my boy right here, known him for 4 years. So we've been waiting forever for PulseChain to come out. And so, yeah, man, just take the mic, bud, the guy that is co-hosting.
Thank you for having me, first of all. We are Punk. We are a dual rewards token on the base blockchain with Ethereum as the main liquidity pool, right? First off, the contract was actually tested first on PulseChain, just to make sure everything was running smooth, trading was going, perfectly. It wouldn't freeze up if any transactions. And, it took almost a month to get it, fully operational. And then we went forward on base. Now, I'm quite bullish on Pulse, but, right now it's not maybe the best time for volume over there. So we decided to branch out, the base while there's a market share. And then now with all these tools, we're able to bridge, like you said, we could go to Solana, we could go to Ethereum, all these chains with, less effort, and create some wild arbitrage. So that being said, I'd love to get a, kind of a pool going between us and just push forward.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. I believe yeah, man. Well, I'll burn it. I'll burn some of it. But yeah, man, I think yeah, 1% of the supply or something like that, dude. It's not a small chunk change either way. And that way we're now starting. Yeah, I mean, so I'm going to be taking some tokens and I'll be bridging over there, and then we'll get a pool going. And then yeah, it's like this is how partnerships should be done. And this is what PulseChain has taught people. Like if the BSC would have seen value in what they were doing, and being able to, it's Solana too, right? Like no one's doing what we're doing. It is happening, but it's only happening on PulseChain. You got Sancho in the house. pdai Sancho is another contributor that's going to be, another dude that I value and respect in the space. Another good dude that's launched tokens. PLS Pup that's up here as a speaker. Same thing. Nothing but a shout out to him. Sonny, I know that he's out there cutting grass somewhere. He might be here right now. I did give him an invite, but another dude that I respect in the space that's building, that we're going to be connecting into, and just the knowledge that these people are able to provide coexistence. I know he wishes he could be here, so we will be swapping and changing times around a little bit just to make it, we want to try to catch but we want to be consistent first. We want to be here every Tuesday, and then hey, if something comes up or it's another partner and we want to catch other people's in the, in another time zone, because we do have a massive, I have a massive audience that is Australian. One of my sidekicks, side partners, Q, as you know, he's from Australia, and then some of the other ladies that I know, them, Allie and Chris. And so yeah, we have a huge network of people that have been deployed, but now everything's just like fallen into place. With Neck and Matrix being in the house, him doing, he's done touring, shout out Sponge, been here forever. Crypto Mug's been an absolute gangster, added him on through the Skull community. So as we get these community, Moon Boot, and I have a huge, like Moon Boot and what he's been doing and the things that we're gonna be able to announce with what he's doing in that partnership, he's literally creating an absolute insane monster. And anyone that's been able to sit in the load up VC has gained nothing but the most insane knowledge. I mean, this dude has flipped tokens to parity with $20, right? Like, so, and we're going to be tied directly into that protocol. And yeah, we're going to be able to push this stuff out and get the knowledge and get people. And if they don't get the knowledge, at least they understand that they can hold these tokens, and the fun stuff, or exciting stuff that Rick's talking about, you can piggyback off of it. Bullish. Like we're going to build a little bit more within load. So the loading infrastructure, like I'm going to, like, as I'm pairing with tokens, pairing with these other assets, we'll be able to utilize these wrapped liquidity pools. Well, the idea would be wrapped liquidity pool or IVN functionalities to where people can pay into these pools, get paid out of these pools based on their percentage. So I believe the DIBS token that he launched has this type of capability into it. So whenever a bunch of people rush into a liquidity pool, whoever provides the most liquidity in that liquidity pool with DIBS starts getting paid a majority of the DIBS token. So like what we would be able to do is literally have that same, it's like an if-then statement, but it's also not only that it can be used both ways. It can be used for liquid NFTs, right? So it launches and it can be stabilized, right? Or it's literally it's an if-then contract statement that works like a vault. So like how pump.fun works is it utilizes a vault infrastructure that is a pre-sale that allows you to trade within that pre-sale until that vault expires or till that vault hits limit, right? And at that point, the vault is then undeployed or redeployed, and it's redeployed directly onto Radium, right? So that's pretty much what an IVN is, but you can literally have that IVN pay out rewards. You can have people pay into that IVN. It's just an NFT that has backing that can be written into code that can have if-then boundaries. If this value reaches, if $1 million, is a volume goes out to this, then 0.1%, depending on what you hold, is paid out to all the people that are holding X token or that have interacted with X protocol. It's actually limitless because this technology not only scales horizontally, but it scales vertically, which goes right back into the account abstraction ability to be able to host a master wallet that then has, an unlimited amount of seed phrases in it, right? That then allows you to then operate cross-chain. So that's the same kind of technology, and it scales from all the way from liquidity pools to tokens, then all the way to exactly how blockchains work. Because what we do on blockchains, right? There is a hosted source that has the power, and then our small wallets make a call or make an interaction with something that is hosting all the power. Now, with Bitcoin, right, that's the miners. With other protocols, the stakers are the ones, the validators are one that are hosting that power. So like that is the exact side, but it's just the same technology. It's just scaling it out in different ways, whether it's a account abstraction or whether it is literally horizontally scaled from token to token, tax to tax. If then, you can have an IVN inside of an IVN, like the ability to, and that's another unique thing that we found out, like the wrapping of value is, you can go to Gnosis chain right now. It'll tell you that the total supply is 302,000, but you can find the actual hex contract, right? It's not it'll tell you that, but inside Gnosis chain, they're interacted with the real contract is a wrapped version of this wrapped hex.com, whatever, blah, 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 right? But then you go in and it's interacted and it's airdropped around 320 billions of real hex tokens, right, that are inside this wrapped quote unquote IVN. So it's a wrapped, it could be seen as it's just a wrapped token, right? Or it could be a wrapped NFT, same concept, but it's wrapped in there and it's literally hidden from the chain and how it's stored that way. And that's kind of where this is all started. It's like, why are they doing this? Like, it's like, oh, nope. It gives them, like, now if you do that same thing with a liquidity pool, right, you would then be able to trade on chain with no volume, with no one could, that's why the 75 billion DAI that was minted and burned, even all those flash loans, it wasn't calculated as volume, right? It's because it's literally and traded on, and it's they have every reason to utilize proprietary technology of what they're doing because it is state of the art. What they've done is they've turned stable coins, which was a wishy-washy, very skeptical, very, very difficult, whether it was rebasing or this or that, it's, using, he was the one that, Hexanaut was the person that actually voted on the price stability module, which is what every stablecoin rests on today, pretty much, right? So it's an AMM that front runs the buyer by a little bit of price every time. So it doesn't go to anyone else. It's a protocol owned liquidity type situation because the AMM, before someone buys the stablecoin, the value is pushed a little up when they sell. It's pushed a little up when they buy and a little down when they sell. And then the difference goes to the actual protocol itself, so it can become profitable right off the bat. PulseChain is not just an ordinary EVM, all right? The PulseChain community is what is going to be that pushes this to where it needs to go. And we have to do it through unity with liquidity pools and knowledge. Atropa, James, he made his sacrifices on chain with work, benevolency, and just from what I see as building a decentralized, 100% operational MakerDAO. which is what MakerDAO always wanted. They just, they have a bunch of contracts that interact, but what he created was a bunch of contracts that have tokens that interact, that he's, vulnerabilities versus ethics, right? He's literally built a microorganism on chain that that could be used to literally, it doesn't harm anything, but it could be used as a Trojan horse on other chains, right? Because of the way that it operates, with its arbitraging and the way that the token system is built. So harnessing that with the Richard Hart ethics and the ethos of what we're trying to do here, I know for a fact that everything that we're building, as long as we act benevolently, as we go on, we'll dig deeper and deeper. I'll get better at putting things in the nest. Yeah, t.me/ it's L0AD load up. So there's still a lot more that we have to uncover. I don't want to start giving out the most insane stuff and get everyone lost. Just understand SDAI is a huge protocol. Richard Hart threw $400 million at an unknown protocol 2 days after its launch, and still holds that protocol to this day, which happened to mint over, I posted the numbers, but it's minted 300, 600 billion DAI through that protocol over the course of 6 months. So if that's what you get from this, just know that's the type of people and that's the type of assets that he's got his hands on. And yeah, big money's coming. Cheers, boys. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Have a great evening. Signing off. Rig Services out.